Let's turn our attention back to United. The latest episode of the weekly Manchester United show, Inside Devils, is now live on the talkSPORT YouTube channel. This week Flex was joined by Alex Crook and Angelina Kelly from the Old Trafford to react to the humiliating 3-0 defeat to Tottenham. Crookie did not hold back when discussing the performance from Ten Hag's side.
That first half, I think, was as shameful as I've seen from a Manchester United team. I thought it was spineless. I thought it was gutless. I thought it was pathetic. Any negative word you want to use to describe that performance. And in some ways, the Bruno red card, which we're going to disagree on, you didn't think it was a red card. I actually think there was a deliberate movement of the leg, and therefore I think he could have avoided the challenge. So I think it was a red card. But all that's done is given Erik ten Hag an excuse to come out in the media and say the red card changed the game. No, it didn't.
No.
We were getting battered at that point. If anything, the red card maybe made the scoreline more respectable because it gave an excuse in that second half. The 10 men came out fighting. There was a show of defiance from the Stretford end. The fans were brilliant, by the way. But it's easy to play with 10 men when you're 2-0 down. You've almost got nothing to lose. The time to stand up and be counted was right from the first whistle.
Okay, 03717 223344 is the number to call, and Sam has done that. Sam, very good morning to you. Thanks for calling. What do you want to say, my friend?
Morning, lads. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Sam.
Good. I just wanted to ask you guys, the problem I've got, I'm a Man United fan, unfortunately, at the minute, but it seems so difficult to change a culture at United. I look at other managers across the country at the minute. You've got, McKenna in his first job at Ipswich playing good football. You've got Carrick gone to Borough, they're playing good football. Xabi Alonso's gone to Leverkusen, first big job, playing good football. Ten Hag's Ajax team weren't a bad side, and it comes to Man United, and it's a mess. I don't understand why it's so bad. I think it's been swallowed up, but I just don't get it. It's lost.
Yeah, look, Sam, you're absolutely right. I think that what everyone saw at the weekend was a team devoid of any confidence. That's the manager's remit. He's got to get those players looking like they can go out there, and I don't think they've got a player in the camp at the moment that looks like he's playing with an ounce of genuine confidence and belief. There's never been under Ten Hag. Let's be honest. They've only ever been a cup team. They've won a couple.
Of course they have.
Fair play to them, but the reason why I say that is there's no real genuine pattern, structure, or whatever you want to call it when you watch them.
Miles off it.
It's just all off the cuff stuff, and on the day they have those moments where they can. I mean, even Garnacho, he is very unlucky with that volley at the weekend, Ali.
Oh yeah.
Ball comes to the far post. He pings it beautifully on the volley. Now, if that flies in the back of the net, all of a sudden they get going. Who knows? You never know. But But in the main, there is no football. They don't play any football. Spurs were the only team playing.
They look lost. They look lack of any direction. They just
no aggression in the team.
No spirit. And these are things that should be a prerequisite. These are things that should be an automatic. Anyway, we're going to take us a little bit step further. We're going to talk to our very own Henry Winter. Henry, good morning. Thanks for joining us. How are you?
Morning, Ali. Morning, Andy.
Hello, Henry. How you doing?
Very good. I'm particularly looking forward to Ali's Club World Cup coverage in the summer as he flies between Miami, LA.
Yes,
this is the greatest tournament since the invention of the World Cup.
Henry, you know me. I will find enthusiasm from somewhere. I'll dig deep, Henry, and I'll find it from somewhere, mate.
I know you will. By the way, congratulations on. I know you're by royal appointment now, but many congratulations.
Very much appreciated, Henry. Thank you very much. It's very, very kind of you. Henry, now we're on to matters Manchester United. There's a train of thought which I probably agree with, that in the summer Manchester United bosses couldn't find anyone really that they wanted to take their club to the next step and take over from Erik ten Hag. That looks very much as though it's come back to bite them at this stage, because Andy and I have been speaking, and you obviously been commenting in the game yourself. It was such a poor performance on so many levels. I am even myself beginning to think, is there any way back for Ten Hag at this moment in time?
Well, I think it depends what happens in the next two games against Porto and Aston Villa. Yeah. I just think that if they get punished in those, I mean, as Crookie was saying just then, I mean, the support has been unbelievable. I think he would have gone at any other club. The fans would have turned, but they have this Ferguson thing of always support the manager. But it is difficult, particularly when you see an unacceptable performance like that. I mean, look, he is on borrowed time, but we said this before. We said this before the FA Cup final. But I think Sam, your caller there, sort of made a point, and he used the word culture. There's a cultural problem at Manchester United, which precedes Ten Hag. I mean, he's their 8th manager, including caretaker, since Sir Alex. And this culture, which comes from the top, which is pervaded down from the Glazers and their ownership, which has all been about the commercial. It's like the football has been less important. The pursuit of excellence, which you guys sort of embody, which Manchester United should embody in terms of footballing, pursuing trophies, that has been set to one side with the Glazers, who've been all about the money. Now, Ineos are about, you look at the sort of the sports that they've been involved in, they're about the pursuit of excellence. And that is going to take time to reinstill that culture at Manchester United. So clearly there are issues with Ten Hag. But players, this is not a bad group of players. You've got some good internationals in there. Kobbie Mainoo, Marcus Rashford obviously is playing within himself. He needs to be lifted. Garnacho, you made the point with that fantastic volley. They've got some good players there, but there's something about the environment, the culture of Manchester United, and the Glazers' tone is absolutely key in all this, that has dragged and inhibited and instilled fear in these players, and that needs to be eradicated.
Yeah. Henry, even if they win the next 2 games, even if they win on Thursday against Porto and beat Villa, we're only going to be at this point again in another couple of 3 weeks or a month's time, when the next couple of ropey performances roll in and people are saying, no, it's not. So, look, surely now is the time that this is what Sir Jim Ratcliffe, and he's brought in an army of people in and around him. This is what they're in the club for, to make big calls, strategic calls, and stick your head above the parapet. They've got to make him now. Forget about whether he wins Thursday or they beat Villa. To me, I think that's totally irrelevant.
Well, I mean, your point is right in terms of after those 2 games, they go into the international break, which is always a sort of delicate time for managers under pressure. But the obvious counterpoint to that, Andy, is who?
Yeah.
Who are you just going to give it to Ruud van Nistelrooy to the end of the season or to the January window, hoping that someone else comes up? But do you want Thomas Tuchel, who has issues? We've seen. Look, he would have an immediate impact, and he will get them performing better. Absolutely, and he is available. But there is always issues between him and owners, and I'm sure that Ineos would look at that. Would you want Graham Potter in? Has he got that? He's more of a sort of project manager. Would the fans really want Gareth Southgate and his inability to sort of take a team over the line? I mean, Ten Hag, for all his faults, has still got two trophies in the bank. Yep. So it's all very well saying get rid of Ten Hag, but for whom?
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.